Rene's Romance Stories presents The Omega's Clause. I always thought the worst thing you could inherit from family was trauma. Turns out, I was wrong. Because last Tuesday, a lawyer I'd never met told me my dead grandmother, the same grandmother who pretended I didn't exist, left me a massive estate. But only if I worked under a dangerously powerful alpha attorney for one lunar cycle. 30 days, 30 nights, and one very specific clause. The Omega must remain in proximity to the Alpha during moonrise. Yeah, no explanation, no context, just that. And the Alpha in question? The one who can either unlock my inheritance or ruin my life? He looked at me with eyes like silver wildfire and said, "Your grandmother hated me, but she's binding us together anyway. Interesting. If you believe contracts should never involve moonlight, hit subscribe, because this is where my life stopped making sense." My name is Lyra Maddox, 26, professional disaster, part-time receptionist, full-time avoider of family drama. I thought my biggest problem today would be my boss, Micah, forgetting he scheduled 3 clients at the same time again. But no. Life said, let's spice this up. The moment the man in the charcoal suit stepped into the lobby, the air shifted, like someone cracked open a window to a thunderstorm. He moved like a judge, an executioner, and a warning sign all at once. "Lyra Maddox?" he asked. My brain said, run. My mouth said, do I owe taxes? Because I swear I paid the ones I remembered. His lips twitched. Not a smile, more like a man unused to amusement trying to process it. "I'm not here about taxes. My name is Aiden Blackthorne. I'm an attorney. I'm here regarding your grandmother." My grandmother. The woman whose name my mother refused to speak. The woman I'd never met. The woman who, according to family lore, once threw an entire pack council meeting into chaos by declaring everyone idiots with delusions of grandeur. So basically, me in 20 years. I blinked. My grandmother is dead? His silver eyes softened. Barely. 3 weeks ago. Oh. I didn't know the woman, but grief still hit weird, like a bruise you didn't know you had until someone poked it. He extended a thick folder. "You've been named her sole heir." My laugh cracked out too loud. "You sure you have the right Lyra? My family usually only leaves me responsibilities and emotional scarring." "She left you her estate," he continued, "and everything in it." Estate. Not house. Not apartment. Estate. "What's the catch?" I asked immediately. Aiden's gaze, cold, calculating, landed on me. "You'll want to sit." I didn't. That felt like what people did right before fainting, crying, or signing something demonic. But I perched on the edge of the lobby couch anyway. He opened the folder. "Your grandmother included a very specific inheritance condition, something she called the Omega's Clause." Every hair on my arms stood up. "Okay," I said carefully. "Well, that sounds ominous." "It requires," he said slowly, "that you work under me for one lunar cycle, as my legal assistant." I stared, then blinked, then stared again. "I'm sorry, what? I can't even alphabetize files correctly. You want me to work for a high-powered attorney?" "It isn't about the work," he replied. "It's about the proximity." "Proximity?" Why? Was she the CEO of Chaos? He hesitated. Aiden Blackthorne, whose presence screamed, "I negotiate million-dollar settlements before breakfast," actually hesitated. "There is a second requirement," he finally said. "Oh, good," I muttered, because the first one wasn't insane enough. "You must remain near me, specifically during moonrise, for the full 30 days. I waited for him to laugh, wink, say he was joking. He didn't. Instead, he watched me like I was the one holding the secrets, not him. "What happens if I don't?" I asked. "The inheritance defaults to the state. Everything your grandmother owned will be seized." My stomach dropped. I might not have known her, but something in my bones, something old and feral, whispered, "You're meant to have this." "And," Aiden added quietly, "your grandmother called it an awakening. She said only I could trigger it." "Trigger what?" "That," he said, "is what we're going to find out." Oh, fabulous. A mystery awakening. Like puberty, but with paperwork. "I want to request a formal second opinion," I tried weakly. He closed the folder. "Lyra, your grandmother was many things, but she wasn't dramatic without purpose." I swallowed hard. "Fine," I said. "One lunar cycle. But if this is some kind of elaborate prank..." He stepped closer, his aura brushing mine like static lightning. "It isn't a prank," he said. "And whether you realize it yet or not, you and I are tied to the same legacy." My pulse jumped. His scent, pine, storm air, and something warm, wrapped around me. I took a shaky breath. "What exactly did my grandmother have against you?" His jaw tightened. "She believed I stole something from her." "Did you?" "No." A pause. "Yes." Another pause. "It's complicated." "Well," I sighed, "lucky for you, complicated is basically my native language." And then, because the universe loves perfect timing, the sun dipped behind the building. The faint glow of early moonrise ignited the horizon. Aiden's eyes flashed. Silver. Bright. Predatory. He inhaled sharply, like he'd been struck. "What?" I whispered. He stared at me like I was the only thing in the room. "Lyra," he said hoarsely. "Your aura." The lights flickered. A hum pulsed through my skin. Something inside me stretched awake. "What's happening?" I gasped. Aiden exhaled shakily. "The contract didn't warn you about the moonlight," he murmured. "But your blood, it knows me." My heart slammed. "Oh no," I whispered. "Please don't tell me this legal internship comes with supernatural side effects." His lips curved, dark, dangerous. "It comes with a bond." You know that moment when you realize your life has veered off the normal highway and is now barreling down what the hell boulevard with no brakes? Yeah. That was me, sitting in a conference room that smelled like lemon polish and power, staring at a contract. Aiden's law firm, Blackthorne and Vale, occupies the top floor of the tallest building in the city. Floor-to-ceiling windows, dark wood, soft lighting. Everything screams money and don't touch anything. I'm in my thrift store blazer with a tiny coffee stain on the sleeve. We're not the same. Aiden sits across from me, jacket off, sleeves rolled up. His forearms are corded muscle and ink I can't quite see beneath the cuff. His tie is slightly loosened, like he's either relaxed or has murdered someone in court today. "Read it," he says quietly, pushing the contract toward me. "Don't sign until you understand every line." That sounds like something a villain would say right before the montage of my life going wrong. He doesn't smile this time. "I'm serious, Lyra." I drag the thick stack closer and start skimming. I expect legal jargon. I get legal jargon with extra weird. The Omega's clause. The beneficiary, Lyra Maddox, will serve as temporary assistant to Aiden Blackthorne for 1 lunar cycle, 30 days, commencing on first moonrise following execution of this agreement. The beneficiary must remain in daily proximity to Mr. Blackthorne for a minimum of 6 consecutive hours. Be physically present within 10 meters of Mr. Blackthorne at the exact moment of moonrise. Abstain from ingesting silver, aconite, or suppressants of a supernatural nature. I stop. "Okay," I say slowly. "You can't just slide suppressants of a supernatural nature into a legal contract and act like that's normal." Aiden leans back, watching me. "Keep reading." My heart starts pounding harder. I force my eyes down the page. Failure to comply will nullify the inheritance and seal the latent bond indefinitely. Latent bond. Is that like emotional attachment? Trauma? Because if so, I've been bonded to chaos since childhood. His gaze sharpens. "This isn't a joke." "I make jokes when I'm overwhelmed," I snap. "It's either that or scream." Silence stretches between us. City lights blink beyond the glass like grounded stars. I flip the page. The estate known as Moonridge will remain sealed until the first successful completion of moonrise proximity. At such time, all wards and protective seals shall recognize the beneficiary as rightful heir. Wards? I echo. Protective seals? Are we talking security systems or the kind of stuff my mom called witch nonsense and pack propaganda? There it is again. That strange flicker in his eyes when I mention my mother. "What did your mother tell you about your grandmother?" he asks. "Not much." I shrug, though my chest tightens. Just that she walked away from the family, from the old ways, from whatever this is. I waved the contract. She said we were normal, that the Maddox women were done with lunatics who worship the moon like it's a Wi-Fi signal. Aiden's jaw flexes. "She raised you completely unaware." "Unaware of what exactly?" I demand. Because either you're part of an extremely committed LARP group or there's something you're not telling me. He doesn't answer. Instead, he taps a line near the bottom of the page. By signing below, the beneficiary acknowledges acceptance of legacy, bloodline, and all attached consequences, known and unknown. I stare at those words until they blur. Legacy, bloodline, consequences. I think of my apartment, the thin walls, the neighbors who yell at each other until 2 a.m, the way my bank balance hovers in the single digits like it's afraid to commit. Then I think of an estate called Moonridge and a grandmother who never came. "Why me?" I whisper. Aiden studies my face like the answer is written there. "Because you're her only grandchild. Because she believed you'd need this." Need what? Money? Property? Or this bloodline fine print? He exhales slowly. All of it. The moonlight outside shifts, washing the room with a faint silver glow. My skin prickles again, heat fluttering under my ribs. "Tell me the truth," I say. "Do you believe in all this supernatural stuff? For real?" His eyes flash, just for a second. Silver. Bright. Wrong. "I don't believe in it," he replies. "I am it." My laugh dies halfway up my throat. "Okay," I say. "You can't just casually confess to being supernatural like you're telling me you're gluten-free." He leans forward, forearms on the table, voice low. "Your grandmother was Omega-born. So are you." Omega. The word feels like a foreign coin on my tongue. Like lowest rank? Weakest link? Bottom of the Wolfie pyramid? I've seen TikToks. His lips twitch. "Not exactly. Omegas in your grandmother's line are different. They don't submit. They regulate." "Regulate what? Feelings?" I scoff, because honestly, that would explain a lot. "Power," he says. "They regulate power." The air thickens. "I don't have power," I argue. "I can barely regulate my coffee intake." "Your reaction in the lobby says otherwise," he counters. "Your aura lit up at moonrise. Your grandmother wasn't sure if you'd ever awaken without a trigger." "And you're the trigger," I finish. He doesn't deny it. I look back down at the contract. The letters feel heavier now. Weighty. Alive. My mother's voice whispers in my head. "We don't owe them anything, Lyra. We live small. We stay safe. We stay human." But last week, my boss shorted my hours by accident again. The landlord raised the rent, and I lay awake staring at the water stain on my ceiling, wondering if this was it. My whole life. Tiny. Tired. Maybe I don't want safe anymore. Maybe I want answers. "Fine," I say. "What happens if I sign and this whole awakening thing turns out to be BS?" "Then you'll have a job for a month and an estate to your name," he replies. "Worst case, you get paid to deal with my emails." "And if it's not BS?" His gaze deepens, voice dropping, the words almost a growl. "Then your life will never be the same." Fantastic. No pressure. He slides a pen toward me. Sleek, black, heavy. My fingers hover over it. "Let me ask you something," I say. "Were you close to my grandmother?" His expression shudders. "Close isn't the word I'd use." "What word would you use?" A pause. His eyes go distant, remembering something only he can see. "Bound," he says softly. "We were bound. By deals and grudges and oaths that went deeper than blood." Comforting, I mutter. So I'm basically stepping into a generational feud with a side of supernatural HR violations. "Lyra." His voice gentles in a way I'm not ready for. "You don't have to trust me, but trust yourself. You came here. You stayed. You're still holding that pen." I look down. He's right. My hand has already wrapped around it. "Would you sign it if you were me? Walk away from the only normal you've ever known for a chance at answers and power you never asked for?" I press the pen to the line. My signature carves across the page. As the ink dries, something inside me shivers. like a lock turning, like a chord finally tuned to the right note. The building hums. The lights flicker. A gust of wind presses against the windows, despite the calm night. Aiden inhales sharply. It's done. A faint warmth spirals from my chest outward, then snaps like invisible threads anchoring to him across the table. I jerk back. What was that? The contract recognizing the bond, he says. That didn't feel like paperwork. That felt like... I pause, searching for words. Like the universe just updated my relationship status without consent. His mouth curves, dark amusement finally breaking through. The universe has been waiting on you, Lyra Maddox. I shake my head, heart racing. This better come with dental, I swear to God. He rises, gathering the contract. We start tomorrow, 7 a.m. 7? I squeak. Isn't being bound to you enough? Now I have to be conscious too? Lunar cycle, he reminds me. We don't have time to waste. I push up from my chair, legs trembling slightly. Can I at least see this estate I just bet my sanity on? He considers. Moon Ridge is warded. You won't be able to cross the boundary until after our first shared moonrise. Shared moonrise, I repeat. That phrase feels illegal. He walks me to the elevator. I'll pick you up tomorrow evening. We'll start there. Tomorrow evening, I echo, because of the whole moon thing. You're adapting quickly, he says. I dissociate quickly, I correct him. It's different. The elevator dings open. I step inside, turning to face him as the doors begin to close. His eyes catch mine, silver glinting under the soft lights. Get some rest, Lyra, he says. Your last night is just human is almost over. The doors slide shut. My reflection stares back at me in the mirrored interior. Same dark curls, same tired eyes, same thrift store blazer. But underneath, something hums. A low, steady thrum. Legacy. Bloodline. Consequences. The contract said 30 days. I whisper to myself. It didn't warn me about the moonlight. I woke up the next morning feeling normal, which honestly offended me. After signing a supernatural legal contract, I expected at least mild glowing, a cryptic dream, or a sudden craving for raw meat. But no. My coffee maker sputtered like it hated me, my left sock went missing, and my upstairs neighbor continued their stomp aerobics of doom routine at 6:12 a.m. So yeah, normal. I rolled out of bed, rubbed sleep from my eyes, and muttered to myself, maybe yesterday was a psychotic break. Happens. Stress, lack of sleep, generational curses. Typical Tuesday. By 10 a.m., I'd convinced myself. I hallucinated the alpha with silver eyes. I hallucinated the contract. I hallucinated the part where my blood felt like it downloaded a new operating system. Except then, my phone buzzed. Aiden Blackthorne, 7 p.m. sharp. Wear something you can move in. Me. Like, emotionally or physically, there's a difference. Aiden Blackthorne. Both. I sighed dramatically to no one. This is how people end up in cult documentaries. But I showed up anyway, because apparently my survival instincts are on permanent vacation. Aiden's car was waiting at the curb outside my building. Sleek, black, quiet. The kind of car that says, I have ancestors who were executioners. The tinted window rolled down. Lyra. His voice was smooth, but somehow still carried the weight of a thunderhead. Hi, I said, awkwardly clutching my tote bag. I brought snacks, because I panic bought snacks. He gestured for me to get in. Good. You'll need energy. For what? Filing? Moon rituals? Running from ghosts? Something like that. You're not fun, I muttered. I'm not here to be fun, he replied. I'm here to manage your inheritance. Oof. Direct hit. I slid into the passenger seat. Up close, he radiated heat. Not metaphorical heat. Actual warmth. Like his body ran hotter than a normal human's. Is that a werewolf thing? I asked, before my brain could stop me. He arched an eyebrow. Is what a werewolf thing? The warmth. You're like a heated blanket. Do you touch all your employers this quickly? His voice held a rare flicker of amusement. I didn't touch you, I snapped. My arm grazed your arm. Microcontact. Barely counts. He pulled away from the curb, the engine humming. Your senses are shifting, he said. You'll start noticing things. Oh, good, because noticing things has always gone so well for me. City lights blurred outside the window. The deeper we drove into the outskirts, the quieter everything became. Trees thickened. The air turned crisp. Aiden drove like someone who had stared down death before and considered it a personal inconvenience. I fiddled with the hem of my jacket. So, this Moonridge place, it's big? Large enough that most humans never find the boundary. That sounds ominous. Your grandmother was a woman of fortifications. You mean she was paranoid? I mean she had enemies. I swallowed. That wasn't comforting. Were you one of them? I asked. His hands tightened on the wheel. No. And yet, she made you the gatekeeper to her legacy. He glanced at me, silver eyes sharp. Your grandmother didn't trust easily, but she didn't trust blindly either. There was purpose behind everything she did. Yeah, well, she didn't think I deserved a phone call in 26 years, so I'm not exactly feeling the family love. Aiden didn't answer, but something in his jaw tightened. Regret, maybe, or restraint. We turned down a gravel road surrounded by towering pines. The moon hovered low on the horizon, a pale rising disk. Aiden parked the car at the forest's edge. Out, he said. Out? Out where? This is forest. Forest has bugs and serial killers. He stepped out first. You'll be fine. Comforting, I muttered, but followed. The moment my feet touched the forest floor, the air shifted. A pull, a hum beneath my skin, like invisible threads tugging at my ribs. What is that? I whispered. Your grandmother's wards recognizing your blood, he said. Oh, cool. So the forest knows me. We're on a first-name basis. Fantastic. The moon crept higher, silver light pouring through branches. Aiden stepped closer, very close. My breath hitched. This part is important, he murmured. Stay within 10 meters. If the bond doesn't stabilize at the moment of moonrise, you won't be able to enter the estate. And by stabilize, you mean you'll feel it. Justice for my anxiety. Then the moon broke fully through the trees. Silver washed over us. And something inside me snapped awake. The air thickened. My pulse pounded. My breath caught. I staggered forward, clutching my chest. Aiden! He moved instantly, catching my arms, grounding me. Heat radiated through his touch. My senses sharpened so fast it was painful. He smelled like pine and storm. The forest whispered secrets, and the moon felt like it was breathing on my skin. What is this?" I gasped. "Your awakening," he said. "Don't fight it." Oh no, I'm absolutely fighting it. My knees buckled. He caught me, pulling me against him. His voice dropped, low and urgent. "Breathe, Lyra. Your grandmother's bloodline is rare. It comes alive under moonlight, but only with an alpha anchor." "Oh, perfect," I choked out. "I'm Wi-Fi and you're the router." His breath brushed my ear. "Focus." A rush of energy surged through me, a warm, electric river weaving through every vein. My fingers curled into his shirt, clinging. Aiden inhaled sharply as something flared between us, a pulse, a tether, a recognition. He whispered, "There you are." My vision blurred white, then cleared. The forest looked different, sharper, brighter, alive. "I can hear things," I said. "The trees, the air, even you." "What do you hear in me?" he asked softly. I met his eyes. "You're angry," I said, "and worried, and pretending to be colder than you really are." His eyes flashed. "And me?" he countered. "What do you feel?" The truth rose uninvited, unfiltered. "You feel like danger," I whispered, "but not the kind that kills you, the kind that changes you." Aiden's breath hitched. The moonlight surged, and the bond locked into place like a click of celestial machinery. Silver light rippled across my skin. Aiden stiffened, sensing it too. "It's done," he said, voice hoarse. I pulled back slightly, dizzy. Did something supernatural just happen between us?" "Yes." "Is this going to be awkward tomorrow?" A faint smirk touched his lips. "Extremely." A hum settled under my skin, steady, warm, alive, like a second heartbeat. What happens now?" I asked. Aiden stepped back, expression unreadable. "Now," he said, "we enter your grandmother's estate." Behind him, the air shimmered. A stone archway materialized where a moment ago there had been only trees. Vines etched with glowing silver runes curled around it. Beyond the threshold lay a sprawling manor drenched in moonlight. "Lyra," he said quietly, "welcome to Moonridge." My jaw dropped. "Holy crap," I whispered. "I inherited Hogwarts for emotionally damaged werewolves." Aiden huffed a laugh. "Close enough." If I thought Moonridge looked surreal from the outside, walking through the archway felt like stepping into a different dimension entirely. The air shifted temperature, cooler, richer, buzzing with the same low hum pulsing under my skin. The estate sprawled across a moonlit clearing like it had grown from the forest itself. Stone pillars, wide sweeping terraces, ivy-draped walls glowing faintly silver. My grandmother did not own a house. She owned a small moon kingdom. Aiden walked ahead of me, posture straight, steps sure, like he belonged here. I trailed behind, clutching the strap of my tote bag. "Okay," I whispered to myself. "No big deal, just casually inheriting a magical estate from a woman who never acknowledged my existence. Totally normal Wednesday." Aiden glanced back. "You're whispering." "I'm coping," I shot back. "Is whispering your coping mechanism?" It's either whisper or scream. I'm choosing the less dramatic option." He hummed, a sound half amused, half something darker. Massive double doors, deep mahogany, carved with crescent motifs, swung open on their own. "Okay," I said, stopping in my tracks. "Nope. Unacceptable. I draw the line at haunted doors." "They're enchanted," Aiden said. "Your grandmother never believed in doing things manually." "Great, so the house is alive." "In a way." "Oh, perfect. Just what I needed. A home with a personality." He stepped inside first. I followed cautiously, scanning for tripwires, ghosts, and possibly the spirit of my therapist telling me to rethink my choices. The entrance hall was enormous. Vaulted ceilings, floating lanterns, polished stone floors that shimmered under the moonlight pooling in from arched windows. The walls were lined with portraits, tall, massive, dramatic, because apparently my grandmother was incapable of subtlety. I slowed, my gaze catching on one painting in particular. A woman with long, silver-streaked black hair, sharp eyes, a faint scar cutting across her jaw, a wolf carved into the frame at her shoulder like armor. Her expression was a mixture of annoyance and challenge. "Is that her?" I breathed. "Yes," Aiden said softly. "Your grandmother, Lyra Maddox." I stepped closer. Her eyes seemed to follow me. "She looks like she could bench press her enemies," I muttered. "She could," Aiden said dryly. My heart tugged unexpectedly. I didn't know her, but something familiar in the tilt of her chin, the stubbornness in her gaze, reflected pieces of myself I thought came from nowhere. "Why didn't she want anything to do with my mother?" I asked quietly. Aiden's expression tightened. "That is complicated. I'm noticing that's your favorite word. I only use it when it's true." I crossed my arms. "Well, uncomplicated." He turned to me, fully, deliberately. "Your mother made a choice," he said. "One that separated her from this bloodline, from the pack, from your grandmother." "What choice?" He exhaled. "She rejected the legacy. She renounced the bond. And she ran." A pang scraped across my ribs. Ran from what? From who she was. From who you could have been. I swallowed hard. If she hated all this, why leave me connected to it? "She couldn't sever your inheritance," he said. "Not without risking your life." My stomach flipped. "I'm sorry, what?" He stepped closer, voice low. "You weren't just any child. You were an Omega-born heir. Rare. Dangerous to the wrong hands. Priceless to the wrong people." "Oh," I said weakly. "So my options as a baby were be normal or be kidnapped for my magical blood." "Yes." "Super cool. Love that for me." Aiden's jaw softened slightly. "Your grandmother spent years hiding the inheritance until you were old enough to choose." "Choose what?" "To claim it or reject it." And the contract was her way of forcing me to at least see it. His voice dropped. It was her way of protecting you. Something hot and tight lodged in my throat. I stepped away, pretending to study another portrait because the sudden swirl of emotion felt like someone tugging at the new bond under my skin. Aiden led me through the hall, past a chandelier shaped like crescent moons nested in each other. We reached a tall door. He pushed it open, revealing a 2-story library lit by floating orbs of silver. Books lined the walls from floor to ceiling. Ancient tomes, modern volumes, scrolls sealed with wax. A fireplace crackled with blue-tinted flame. A ladder slid across the shelves on its own, as if greeting us. "Oh my God," I breathed. This is everything I've ever wanted. I would have studied in school if libraries looked like this. Aiden's lips quirked. "Your grandmother kept her records here." "My records?" I echoed. "Your bloodline, your lineage, the history of the Maddox Omegas." I froze. The words slotted into my chest like a key. "Are you saying," I whispered, "that this library knows more about me than I do?" "Yes." A pulse of fear, then curiosity, then anger at my mother, sharp and fast. "You said the bond stabilized," I said carefully. "What does that mean exactly?" Aiden reached for a book, pulling it from a shelf. It looked old, worn, the cover embossed with a crescent bleeding into a wolf's silhouette. "It means," he said quietly, "your power is unlocked, but raw, unshaped, untamed." Untamed sounds like a safety hazard. It is. Awesome. His gaze deepened. Whatever you feel, your power response. Good, bad, or catastrophic. Oh, so I'm emotional glitter dynamite. Precisely. And you're supposed to help me handle that? Yes. I stared. He stared back. "So why," I said, narrowing my eyes, "did my grandmother hate you?" He held my gaze a long moment before answering. "Because," he said finally, "I promised to protect her bloodline, and she didn't trust anyone to keep promises." "Did you break one?" He didn't answer, which, totally reassuring. Before I could press further, a sound echoed behind us, a rustle, a whisper. I spun. A different portrait, a massive one draped partially in shadow, glowed faintly at the edges. A woman with pale eyes and a cruel mouth stared down from the canvas. "Ah," Aiden murmured. "We've reached the part where the estate gets opinionated." "What does that mean?" He pointed subtly. The portrait's eyes moved. Tracking me. I yelped, "Nope, absolutely not. I did not sign up for judgmental wall art." The portrait's lips curled. "It doesn't like you," Aiden said. "Why? I literally just got here." "That's Lyra Maddox," he said. "Your grandmother's sister." "Aunt Serena," I grimaced. "Wait, was she alive?" "She passed before you were born." "So why is she glaring at me like I stole her favorite lipstick?" "She had opinions about your grandmother and her heir." "Oh, good," I muttered. "Ghost Aunt thinks I'm unworthy." Aiden shot me a sideways look. "The house tests everyone, Lyra. Don't take it personally." "I take everything personally. That's my brand." Aiden closed the distance between us again, expression shifting into something sharper. "We should continue the tour," he said. "But before we do, you need to understand something important." "Okay. What?" He stepped closer. Close enough the new bond fluttered under my ribs in recognition. "Moonridge is neutral," he said. "But the world outside it isn't." My pulse jumped. "Meaning?" "Your awakening won't go unnoticed." Unnoticed. A cold ripple slid down my spine. "By who?" I whispered. His eyes gleamed. Silver. Predatory. Protective. By those, he said, who wanted your grandmother dead. My breath hitched. And now that she's gone... Aiden stepped even closer, voice like a quiet vow. They'll come for you. I stared at Aiden, heart thudding hard enough to rattle bone. Come again? I choked out. Who exactly is coming for me? Because I did not sign up for enemies. I barely have the stamina to handle coworkers. Aiden didn't blink. Your grandmother made enemies in her lifetime. Powerful ones. And when she died, certain factions assumed her bloodline died with her. Well, joke's on them, I muttered weakly. I'm very much alive. Mostly. Emotionally fragmented, but physically intact. Aiden stepped closer, like he was trying to eclipse the rising panic inside me. His voice lowered, steady and anchored. Lyra, listen to me. You're not in danger tonight. Moonridge is the safest place you could be, but you need to know what you're dealing with. A chill brushed down my spine. So, who are these factions? Old blood, he said. Old power. Those who believed your grandmother hoarded magic that should have belonged to them. Oh, great, I groaned. Estate, magical responsibilities, family secrets, and a side of potential murder attempts. Love that for me. Aiden's jaw ticked. No one will touch you. The bond under my skin thrummed in agreement. Irritating, warm, uselessly reassuring. Is that a threat? I asked softly. It's a promise. Okay. Yep. That did something strange to my breathing. A sudden gust of cold air swept through the library. The floating orbs flickered. The fire in the hearth hissed. Somewhere above us, a door slammed. Aiden stiffened. The estate's wards are shifting. Is that bad? Not necessarily. His eyes lifted to the ceiling, expression sharpening. Moonridge is reacting to your awakening, adjusting to your presence. That sentence is exactly the type of thing that gives me stress acne. He didn't bother to hide a smirk. But then, the smirk vanished as a low rumble vibrated through the floorboards, like the house itself was clearing its throat. A bookshelf on the second level slid sideways with a grinding sound, revealing a narrow spiral staircase descending into darkness. I blinked. What fresh hell is that? Aiden exhaled. The house wants to show you something. The house, I repeated, wants to show me something. Yes. You're saying that like it's not incredibly creepy. It is, he admitted, but it's also important. The staircase yawned open, like a mouth waiting to swallow me. Is it safe? I asked. Aiden didn't immediately answer. Wow, I said. That delay tells me everything. It's safe enough with me, he amended. That sentence does not inspire comfort. He extended a hand. Lyra. I stared at his hand. Calloused, strong, warm. The bond hummed like a magnet. Don't look at me like that, I muttered. I'm not holding your hand. We're coworkers. Holding my hand is recommended, he said calmly. Why, because of ghosts, magic traps, spiders? Yes. Yes! I yelped. He didn't elaborate. I groaned, grabbed his hand, and instantly hated how right it felt. His grip tightened, steady, certain, grounding. Fine, I muttered. But if something bites me, I'm suing. You can't sue paranormal contracts. Then I'll haunt you. Duly noted. The air down the staircase was colder, older, thicker with magic that felt like dust and memories settling on my skin. The stone walls glowed faintly with runes, some broken, some bright, some pulsing as if aware of us passing. What is this place? I asked. A sanctum, Aiden replied. Your grandmother's private chamber. No one else has entered since she sealed it. And now the house thinks I should. You're her heir. It recognizes you. I swallowed. Can the house recognize someone it's never met? It recognizes your blood, your aura, your power. I snorted nervously. Great. My aura is out here doing social introductions while I'm spiraling internally. Aiden slowed at the bottom of the stairs. The stone corridor ended at an iron-bound door, carved with a crescent moon split down the center. Chains crossed it, glowing dull blue. A lock the size of my hand pulsed faintly. Is that supposed to be locked? I whispered. It was, Aiden murmured, until you arrived. The chains slid free. The lock clicked open. The crescent motif split with a sigh, the door swinging inward. Moon-cold air washed over us. Inside was a chamber illuminated by a single floating crystal. A desk, a bed, shelves of books and vials, weapons mounted on the walls, silver blades, obsidian spikes, claws fashioned into jewelry, and at the far end, a writing table, with a sealed envelope sitting perfectly centered, my name written on it in looping script. Lyra. My breath disappeared. Oh no, I whispered. Absolutely not. I'm not emotionally prepared for letters from dead relatives. Aiden didn't move. Didn't breathe. Pick it up, he said softly. What if it curses me? It won't. What if it insults me? That's more likely. I glared. Not comforting. But I stepped forward anyway. The envelope was warm, as if someone had just placed it there moments ago. My hands trembled as I slid a finger beneath the seal. The wax broke with a soft crack. I unfolded the letter. My grandmother's handwriting swept across the page, sharp, elegant, impatient.
Lyra, if you are reading this, then the house has judged you worthy enough to step into my sanctum. And if Aiden is with you, which he is because he's a nosy, overprotective thorn, then good. Someone must keep you alive. You don't know me. That is my fault. But your mother chose to live outside the bloodline. She chose safety over power. I did not blame her. I only blamed myself for being unable to give her peace. You, child, are different. You are the last Omega of the Maddox line, and your awakening will draw attention, dangerous attention. Trust carefully, especially with him. The Alpha beside you is bound to our legacy more tightly than he admits. He carries my greatest secret, and yours.
My pulse stuttered. She's talking about you, I whispered, lifting my eyes to Aiden. His expression didn't change, but something in him coiled tight enough to crack. Keep reading, he said roughly. I swallowed and continued.
Do not fear your power. Do not run from it. You will need it to survive what's coming. And Lyra, forgive me for the years you lost, but if I could see you now, I would say this. You were never meant to be small. Claim what is yours. Burn down anything that says otherwise.
The letter ended abruptly.
ink smeared at the bottom, as if interrupted. I stared at the page until my vision blurred. She knew, I whispered. She knew all of this was coming. She knew I'd need help. She knew... My voice cracked. Aiden stepped forward, slowly, carefully, like approaching a wild creature. Lyra, he said gently. She didn't abandon you. She hid you. From what? I demanded. From who? What did she know that we don't? Aiden's eyes flicked to the walls, the weapons, the runes. She knew an Omega heir would spark a war, he said finally. And she knew you'd need protection. From what kind of war? I breathed. His gaze locked with mine. The kind, he said quietly, that starts the moment your awakening is sensed. A hollow boom echoed above us, then another. The house shuddered, hard. Aiden's eyes snapped up, silver blazing. Someone's at the boundary. My blood ran cold. Already? I whispered. He grabbed my wrist, pulling me behind him. They came faster than expected. Who? He bared his teeth, not human, not remotely human. Hunters. The chamber shook again, dust drifting from the stone ceiling like the whole sanctum had exhaled sharply in fear. Except Aiden didn't look afraid. He looked furious. His eyes snapped silver bright, sharp enough to cut moonlight itself. I clutched the letter, voice wobbling. Hunters? Like hunters? Monster hunters? Bounty hunters? What level of bad are we talking? Aiden moved. Quick, controlled, lethal. He scanned the glowing runes along the walls like they were gauges only he could read. Not bounty hunters, he said. Not amateurs. These are blood seekers. Blood seekers? I repeated. Oh, good. That sounds calming. It shouldn't, he said darkly. They kill rare-blooded heirs, particularly Omegas. I hate today, I whispered. He stepped toward me, grip firm on my arm. Lyra, focus on my voice. Breathe. No, you breathe, I snapped. You're the one with glowing murder eyes. I'm just trying not to cry in a magical basement. His jaw clenched. Crying is fine. Panicking is not. I need you steady. Steady? Steady? I hissed. I woke up human, and now I'm apparently rare air meat on a hunter's menu. A loud crack echoed overhead, like something smashing against an invisible barrier. Aiden dragged me closer, body angled in front of mine. The wards will hold for now, but when they sense your awakening, they'll push harder. My pulse hammered so violently my skin buzzed. And what do I do? I gasped. I don't have powers yet. I don't have training. Hell, I don't even know my wolf's name. Do Omegas even have... Aiden turned, grabbing my face between both hands. Firm, hot, steady. Lyra, stop spiraling. I blinked. I can't. I spiral recreationally. Then spiral later, he said, voice low and commanding. Right now, you listen to me. You are not powerless. You are not prey. And you are not alone. That last part hit something tender, dangerous, powerful. The bond hummed like warm electricity between our skin. I swallowed hard. What do they want from me? He exhaled. Your blood, your power, your lineage. Omegas of your line can regulate alpha strength, Magnify it or destroy it. I stared. Excuse me? Destroy it? Why didn't anyone put that on a business card? Aiden's mouth twitched. Your grandmother refused to weaponize the bloodline. But someone else wanted to. Fantastic. A deafening boom thundered overhead, shaking dust loose again. Aiden grabbed my wrist. We need to move, now. He pulled me out of the sanctum, up the spiral stairs, 2 at a time. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. Wait, my grandma's letter, I gasped. Take it, he said. Carry it. Her magic recognizes you. We reached the library just as another force slammed into the estate's wards, sending a ripple of pale light shuddering across the windows. I froze. What is that? Aiden didn't hesitate. A bloodseeker trying to breach. A shadow figure leaned against the shimmering barrier outside. Tall, hooded, unnatural. I wanted to pass out. The figure lifted a hand and slammed another hit against the ward. The entire house trembled like a living creature in pain. Aiden, I whispered. This place is fully haunted. It's alive with magic, he corrected. And right now, it's being attacked. Oh, wonderful. No stress there. He spun me toward him. Lyra, listen carefully. The wards are old. They were built for your grandmother's magic, not yours. They won't last without reinforcement. What does that mean? It means, he said grimly, Moonridge needs you. Me? I squeaked. I barely survived my 9 to 5. Aiden took my hands, full palms, fingers threading through mine. My breath caught. What are you doing? I whispered. Anchoring you, he said. The same way your grandmother used me. Wait. You were her anchor? His jaw tightened. Another time. No, that's like 50 red flags, Lyra. The bond pulsed, humming, alive. Your power is instinctive, he said. It responds to emotion. You don't have training, but you don't need it for this. You just need to feel. Feel what? Anxiety? Terror? Poor life choices? Feel the estate, he said. Feel its fear, its need, its call to you. I don't speak house language. Yes, he murmured. You do. You're a Maddox. Another slam rattled the windows. The wards flickered, dimmed, flared again. Aiden stepped closer, chest brushing mine, his breath hot against my cheek. Lyra, look at me. I did. His eyes pulled me in like gravity, silver bright and fierce. Trust the bond, he said. Let it rise. I don't know how. Then take my energy, he whispered. Take whatever you need. His thumb swept across my knuckles, warm, steady, a jolt of something sharp and electric. The humming in my blood surged, a pull, a rise, a burn. The bond flared between us, white gold light curling like smoke around our clasped hands. Aiden, I choked. Something's happening. Good, he said, voice low and hoarse. Don't fight it. The light surged outward, rushing across the floor, up the walls, into the ceiling, like a shockwave of moonlight. The wards outside exploded in a cascade of silver brilliance. The bloodseeker's figure was thrown backward, a guttural snarl ripping through the air. Aiden's breath hitched. Lyra. I staggered. Did I just... Yes, he breathed. You reinforced the wards, instinctively. Oh my God, I whispered. I'm a walking surge protector. His laugh, low, surprised, almost reverent, rumbled through him. "A powerful one," he murmured. The Bloodseeker steadied itself outside the barrier, dark hood shifting, glowing red eyes locking on me through the shimmering ward. A chill shot through my veins. It spoke. Its voice distorted, warped, inhuman. "Found you." My stomach dropped. Aiden snarled, an actual low alpha snarl, stepping in front of me again. "You can't have her," he growled. The Bloodseeker tilted its head, then whispered something that made the temperature drop 20 degrees. "We will return, Omega Heir." The wind howled. Trees bent backward. Then the figure vanished, dissolving into shadows that scattered like ash. Silence fell. I realized I was shaking. Aiden turned to me, hands firm on my shoulders. "Lyra," he said quietly, "are you hurt?" "No," I whispered, "but my brain might be." He brushed a fallen curl from my face, touch gentler than I expected from someone with murder in his blood. "You did well." I nearly fainted. "You didn't." I almost peed. "You still didn't." I glared weakly. "You're terrible at comfort." He smirked. "You're alive. Moonridge is protected, and the Bloodseekers know you're not unguarded. That's enough for tonight." My voice wavered. "For tonight?" Aiden's expression darkened. "They'll be back." "And when they come back," I whispered, "what happens then?" He didn't answer right away. Then, "We prepare you," he said. "We train you. We awaken everything buried in your blood." His gaze held mine, fierce and unyielding. "And when they return," he promised, "you won't run." I swallowed hard. "Because I'll be strong enough?" His eyes softened, just a fraction. "No," he said quietly. "Because you'll be powerful enough to end them." I didn't sleep. Not even a nap. Not even a micro-doze. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that Bloodseeker's warped face pressed against the ward, whispering, "Found you." By sunrise, I'd decided. I needed therapy. I needed a weapon. I needed a nap the size of a coma. Instead, I got Aiden Blackthorne knocking on my bedroom door in Moonridge at 8 a.m. sharp. Knock, knock. "Lyra," he called. All alpha command and no caffeine compassion. "We start now." "I'm dead," I groaned into my pillow. "Tell the estate I died suddenly and must haunt the hallways forever. I'll terrorize the portraits. They deserve it." No answer. Just the door opening. I bolted upright. "You can't just walk in. Bound alpha or not, privacy is a thing." Aiden paused in the doorway, eyes sweeping the room like he was assessing threats and also judging my pajamas. "My apologies," he said, not sounding sorry at all. "But you didn't answer." I didn't answer because I was contemplating my funeral. He stepped inside, closing the door behind him. "Tired or not, training starts today." I squinted at him. He was freshly showered, hair damp, sleeves rolled up, looking like a man who could win a fight, a lawsuit, and a beauty contest at the same time. "Why are you like this?" I whispered. He ignored that. "Get dressed. Wear something you can move in." "You said that yesterday." "And you ignored it." "I was panicking." "Today, try multitasking." I threw a pillow at him. He dodged without blinking. 10 minutes later, wearing leggings and a hoodie that said, "I don't do mornings," I followed him through Moonridge. He led me into a room I hadn't seen yet, a massive circular chamber with stone floors, rune-marked walls, and weapon racks lining the perimeter. "Oh," I said flatly. "A gladiator arena. Lovely. I always dreamed of being a magical Hunger Games tribute." Aiden turned to me, expression all business. "Lesson 1, he said. Stop talking." "I physically can't." "Try. This is abuse." He ignored me completely. He stood in front of me, arms crossed, posture cut from steel. "We need to understand what your power does," he said. "Your grandmother's heritage wasn't ordinary Omega energy. It was specialized." "Meaning?" "Omegas can regulate alphas, calm them, balance them, restrain them, but your bloodline," he met my eyes, "can amplify or nullify alpha power entirely." I blinked. "I'm sorry. I can what?" "You heard me." "Oh, good!" I clapped my hands together. "So, I'm a walking alpha remote control." "Not a remote control," he corrected. "More like a detonator." "That's worse." "Yes, you're terrible at comfort. We've established that." Aiden took a step closer. "Lesson 2, he said. You need to control the bond." "Control it how?" I asked. "I barely understand it." He extended his hand. "Touch me." "Buy me dinner first." "Lyra." "Fine," I huffed, placing my palm against his. Heat flared instantly, a bright rush of energy shooting up my arm, straight to my chest. I gasped. "Okay, nope, too much. Whatever this is, my hormones and my magic are in a custody battle." Aiden's voice dropped. "Focus. Don't fight the bond. Direct it." "How?" "Think of something you want." "Coffee." "Not physically, energetically." "Control over my life would be nice." "Lyra." I sighed dramatically. "Fine." I thought of the Bloodseeker, of the fear, of the way I'd felt helpless, weak, cornered. Then I thought of heat, strength, refusing to be prey. The bond flared, a burst of white gold light rippling outward from our joined hands like a shockwave. Aiden stumbled, not much, but enough for my eyes to widen. "What was that?" I yelped. He exhaled shakily. "You just pulled energy through the bond." "I what?" "You took mine and used it." "Oh my God," I whispered. "I'm a magical parasite." "Not a parasite. I'm basically a supernatural Roomba." "You are not a Roomba." "You say that, but Lyra." His voice cracked through the room, deep, an alpha command sharp. I shut up instantly. Aiden flexed his hands once, grounding himself. "Lesson 3, he said. Understanding your effect on alphas." "My effect?" I echoed. "What effect?" "This." He stepped back, just barely, and let go. For the first time since the bond awakened, he dropped some of his restraint. His aura exploded outward. Power hit the air like a storm. Not metaphorical, actual pressure, like gravity increasing. I staggered. "Aiden, holy, what?" "This is full alpha presence," he said. "Most humans would be on their knees right now." "I am halfway there." I clung to a pillar. He watched me carefully. "And now? This is what happens when you push back." "I didn't." But I did, instinctively. The bond surged, warm and fierce, pushing through the pressure. The room trembled, and Aiden, alpha, powerful, unshakable, took a step back. He inhaled sharply. You nullified it." "I nullified you?" I shrieked. He stared at me like I'd just rewritten physics. "Your grandmother was right," he said softly. "You're stronger than she ever was." My heart tripped. My stomach flipped. And I whispered, "I don't know if that's good or bad." "It's both," he said, "which is why we train." He circled me, slow, studying, calculating. "We'll run exertion drills," he said. "Push your limits. See what triggers your power. See what you can restrain. See what you can amplify." "Okay," I said. "I can do that. Maybe." Aiden reached for a sword on the wall, a long obsidian blade. I recoiled. "Whoa, whoa, why do you get a weapon?" "You're not in danger." "You say that while holding a murder stick." "It's ceremonial." "It's sharp!" He stepped closer. "Lyra, look at me." I did. "Do you trust me?" "Oh, God," I whispered. "Not this question." "Lyra." The bond pulsed, warm, dangerous, honest. "Yes," I said finally. "I trust you." He nodded once and raised the sword, not to strike, to teach. But my power didn't know that. My heart lurched, fear punched through me, hard, and my Omega power surged out uncontrolled. White gold light exploded from my body like a blast wave. Aiden flew backward, crashing into the opposite wall with a grunt. The sword clattered across the floor. "Aiden!" I screamed. He groaned, pushing up slowly, shaking off the hit. I ran to him, kneeling beside him. Oh my God, did I kill you? You're not dead, right? Please don't be dead." He smirked through the pain. "You think that could kill me?" "I threw you like a supernatural frisbee." His hand came up, grabbing my wrist gently. "You didn't hurt me," he murmured. "But now we know something important." "Which is?" He met my eyes, intensity burning. "When you're afraid," he said, "your power is catastrophic." "Oh, good. Great. Fantastic." "I knew it," I whispered. "I'm emotional Chernobyl." Aiden's thumb brushed my wrist. "No. Your potential. Potential to accidentally yeet people into walls. Potential to destroy hunters," he corrected softly. "Or anyone who tries to take you." My breath stalled. He held my gaze, firm, unwavering. "We train," he said. "We learn control. We harness your strength. And when the Bloodseekers return—" He leaned in, voice low, fierce. "They'll wish they never found you." By the time training ended, my entire body buzzed, part adrenaline, part mortification, part I yeeted an alpha into a wall. Aiden insisted he wasn't hurt. I insisted he was lying. Moonridge insisted on slamming random doors like it was stressed on my behalf. Basically, everyone was coping in their own way. I paced the corridor, tugging at my hoodie sleeves. "Okay, Lyra," I muttered. "You have catastrophic magic, zero control, hunters on your tail, and an alpha lawyer/bodyguard who reacts to you like a live grenade." Aiden's voice floated from behind me. "You're talking to yourself again." I whirled. "I'm allowed. Today was traumatic." He leaned against the wall, arms crossed, hair slightly messy from our little magical mishap. Even bruised, he looked annoyingly perfect. "We'll keep training tomorrow," he said. "No," I shot back. "Training implies I learn. I nearly turned you into a demolition project." Aiden pushed off the wall and walked toward me. Lyra? Nope, don't Lyra me, I said, backing up. We are not doing more power flinging until I figure out how to not explode. Aiden kept coming. Lyra. I bumped backward into a console table and hissed, Stop saying my name like that. Like what? Like it's a command. His eyes gleamed. It is. Ugh, unfair, illegal. I crossed my arms. What do you want? To make sure you eat. I don't eat under stress. You need to. No. Yes. No. He sighed, then stepped even closer, lowering his voice in that irritating alpha way. If you don't eat willingly, he murmured, your power will drain from exhaustion, and then you'll lose control. And then I'll have to hold you down until you stabilize. My brain short-circuited. That is emotional manipulation, I squeaked. Not manipulation, he said calmly. Fact. Stop being right! I can't. I threw my hands up. Fine, food, feeding, whatever, but if you hold me down at any point, I will accidentally on purpose explode you again. His lips twitched. Duly noted. We walked into a large, rustic, modern kitchen that looked like it belonged on a cooking show where contestants cry into soufflés. Aiden opened the fridge. What do you want? Something comforting. He scanned the shelves, then pulled out a bowl. Your grandmother's stew. I froze. Oh, I don't know if I can. She made it for me once, Aiden said quietly. When I was younger. Some emotion flickered across his face, soft but hidden fast. You two were close, I said carefully. His jaw tightened. Close isn't the right word. What word then? He placed the bowl on the counter and looked at me. Bound, he said softly. The same word she used in her letter. My stomach flipped. Bound. Legacy. Secrets. What did she bind you to? I asked. His eyes dropped to the countertop. You're not ready for that answer. I'm never ready. That's my brand. He didn't smile. He didn't look away either. Instead, he heated the stew and put it in front of me. Eat, he said. I frowned at the bowl. Is it magical? No. Is it cursed? No. Is it going to awaken anything? Just your appetite. Suspicious, but the moment I smelled it, something warm and familiar stirred in my chest. A strange ache, like nostalgia for a memory I didn't have. I took a bite. And froze. Aiden watched me closely. Well? It tastes like... My throat tightened. Family. He softened, just a fraction. Halfway through my bowl, I realized Aiden hadn't eaten anything. I narrowed my eyes. Do you not eat? Are you secretly undead? Is this why you're warm? Like a vampire space heater? He sighed. I ate earlier. Eat with me. The words were out before I could stop them. He paused. For a moment, he looked thrown. Then he grabbed a second bowl and served himself. We sat across from each other at the long wooden table, silent, awkward, intensity simmering like the stew. Finally, I blurted, Why did you really agree to the clause? Why take me on? Why anchor me? Why risk this? Aiden stared into his bowl as if debating what he was allowed to say. Then, because your grandmother asked me to, he said quietly. I know that. But why listen to her? He lifted his gaze, and the truth there was heavier than all the magic in the room. Because I owed her. For what? He swallowed. A tiny muscle in his jaw twitched. She saved my life. Silence slammed into the room. Oh, I whispered. And, he added, voice lower, because I made her a promise. My breath stopped. What promise? His eyes locked onto mine, and something old, aching, and dangerous flickered there. To protect you, he said, no matter the cost. A beat. 2. My heart did a very inconvenient thing. Aiden, I whispered. But he pushed up from the table suddenly, every line of his body going rigid. His head tilted, his eyes sharpened. Aiden? I asked. What? He held up a hand. And I felt it too. Something pulsed in the air. A ripple of wrongness, like moonlight shuddering. What is that? I whispered. He moved toward the window in 3 swift strides. Then he stiffened. The wards, he said. They're reacting again. My stomach dropped. Another bloodseeker? No. His voice dropped, dark and deadly. Something worse. What's worse than a hunter that wants to bleed me like a smoothie? Aiden turned, eyes blazing silver, aura spiking like a shockwave. A rival alpha, he said. And he's looking for you. A rival alpha? My brain short-circuited. You mean like another you? I whispered. Aiden didn't answer, which was answer enough. He stalked across the room toward the window, shoulders tense, jaw set with a lethal stillness I'd come to recognize as his, oh good, homicide is an option today, mood. Stay behind me, he said. Behind you? I don't even want to be in the same zip code as whatever's outside. Lyra. That tone again. The one that melted my spine into compliance. Rude. I reluctantly moved closer, behind him, because living was a priority. What does he want? I whispered. Power, Aiden said. Let me guess, I muttered. Mine? And leverage, he added, claiming you would amplify his status. Having an awakened Omega heir under his pack would shift the balance. Shifted how? His voice dropped into something dark, dangerous. Into chaos. Cool. A chaos war over my magic blood. Just what my anxiety needed. Aiden pressed his palm to the window's edge. Runes flared briefly under his touch, like a ward report. Then he said 2 words that made my stomach fall out of my body. He's inside. Inside? I screeched. As in, inside? Like within the walls? Like in the house? Yes. You said the wards would keep people out. They keep hunters out, he corrected. Not alphas who know how to manipulate boundary permissions. Oh, sure. Let's get technical about my imminent death. A rustle echoed down the hallway. A steady step. Slow. Unhurried. Predatory. Aiden moved instantly, grabbing me by the waist and pulling me back behind him as a tall figure appeared in the doorway. He leaned casually against the frame, like this was a social visit. Tall. Dark hair. Eyes like frosted blue glass. Sharp jawline. Smirk you could punch for days. He wore a tailored coat, boots too expensive to touch forest soil, and the smug aura of someone who thought the world owed him applause. Hello, Aiden, he said. voice dripping with silk and venom. Aiden didn't bother acknowledging him. Ronan. Ronan's gaze slid to me, and I felt the air shift, like his attention was a physical weight pinning me in place. So that is what an alpha aura feels like when it's not restrained. Oh, good. Love that. And this, Ronan murmured, eyes raking over me, must be the Maddox air. I tried to speak, but only squeaked like an offended mouse. Aiden moved slightly, blocking Ronan's full view. State your purpose and leave, Aiden ordered. Ronan's lips curled. You don't own her. She's under my protection. And I'm supposed to care? Threat lightning crackled between them. The room felt too small, too charged, too dangerous. How did he get in? I whispered. Aiden didn't look at me. He has old ties to the Maddox line. Some permissions overlap. Oh, good, I muttered. Grandma left me a haunted estate and loopholes. Ronan laughed softly. Your grandmother and I were acquainted. No, Aiden snapped. You hunted her. Ronan tisked. Hunted is such a strong word. I tracked her, pursued her, negotiated with her. Courtship, if you will. Courtship, I gagged. Oh my God. Ronan smirked. And now her granddaughter stands in front of me, an awakened Omega heir, fresh, untouched, radiating potential. Okay, you? Aiden growled, an actual growl that vibrated the air. Watch your mouth. Ronan lifted his hands innocently. What? I'm appreciating her. It's a compliment. It's a threat. It's both. I poked my head out from behind Aiden. Quick question, why do alpha men speak like horny medieval villains? Ronan's grin widened. Oh, I like her. Don't like me, I snapped. I'm allergic to manipulation. Are you? He murmured. Tell me, Omega, do you know what your power can do to an alpha like me? No, I said honestly. I'm too busy having panic attacks to read the manual. Aiden stepped forward, blocking me completely now. Leave, he said again. She won't be part of your games. Ronan tilted his head, expression shifting into something sharper. You think you can guard her forever? She's untrained, unclaimed, vulnerable. Aiden's aura spiked hard, like a wall slamming down. She's not unclaimed. My brain stopped. Ronan's jaw twitched. Bold lie, Blackthorne. You haven't marked anyone since. Leave! Aiden barked. Ronan smirked, stepping closer, ignoring the snarl vibrating through Aiden's chest. What are you hiding? Ronan whispered. Why tether yourself to her? Why risk yourself for a Maddox heir? He leaned in, blue eyes burning. What is she to you? The silence that followed crackled. Aiden spoke without looking away from Ronan, voice low, deadly. She is under my oath. Ronan blinked. Your oath? My breath stilled. The one you swore, Ronan said slowly. To Lyra Maddox? Aiden didn't answer. He didn't deny it either. Ronan let out a low whistle. So the rumor was true. Aiden stiffened. You bound yourself, Ronan whispered. You anchored the last Maddox Omega. You swore your life to her line. You made yourself their protector, their weapon. My pulse pounded. "And now," Ronan said, gaze sliding to me, hungry, assessing. "You've bonded with her." Bonded. Aiden stepped so close to Ronan, I could practically feel the heat. "You're done," Aiden growled. Ronan smirked. "I'll see you soon, little Omega." His eyes burned into mine. Then he vanished, like smoke dissolving. The wards snapped back into place, shaking the walls. Silence slammed down. I stared up at Aiden, heart wild, voice shaking. "Aiden?" I whispered. What oath was he talking about? Aiden turned to me slowly, expression shadowed. "It doesn't matter." "It does." "No." "It does," I insisted. "Tell me the truth." His eyes searched mine, tormented, guarded, burning. Then he spoke, voice barely above a whisper. "Your grandmother didn't just ask me to protect you," he said. "She demanded it." "Why?" I breathed. His throat bobbed. "Because," he said softly, painfully, "I was the one who killed her." Silence. Not peaceful silence, not dramatic silence. The world tilting, air cracking, holy hell, what did he just say? Kind of silence. My pulse slammed against my ribs so hard my vision wavered. "Aiden." My voice was barely breath. You killed her?" His jaw tightened, muscles shifting like he was holding up the ceiling with sheer will. "Lyra," he said quietly. "Listen." "No," I choked out, stepping back. "No, you don't get to start with listen. You just said you killed my grandmother. That's not a listen moment, that's a sirens and therapy moment." A shadow crossed his face, pain, regret, and something raw. "I didn't mean to," he said. "Oh, good," I snapped hysterically. "Accidental homicide, so much better." His chest rose sharply. "It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like?" My voice cracked, anger pouring out of the panic flooding me. He didn't move. He didn't raise his voice, but his eyes looked like broken glass and moonlight. "It was the oath," he said. "The one Ronan mentioned. The one I swore to Lyra." "You swore to protect her line," I said bitterly. "Didn't realize it came with a body count." He flinched, really flinched, like the words hit bone. "She asked for it," he said. My brain short-circuited. "I'm sorry, she asked you to kill her? Are you hearing yourself?" He took a step forward. I took a step back. "Lyra, let me explain." "Explain what?" I spat. "That your job interview included assisted grandmother death?" He scrubbed a hand over his face, looking older, exhausted, haunted. "Lyra was dying," he said quietly. "She hid it from everyone, from the pack, from her enemies, from your mother. She wanted time to arrange your inheritance, your protections, your awakening. But her illness—" "What illness?" I demanded. "Burning Moon Syndrome." I blinked. "Is that like supernatural cancer?" "It's worse," he said. "It eats the soul first, then the mind, then the power. By the end, she wasn't herself. She was losing control of her Omega gifts, wildly, violently. She was terrified she'd lash out at you, or your mother, or me." My heart twisted painfully. "So she just decided to die?" "She decided to choose her death," he corrected. before her mind went, before her power turned destructive. And she asked you to... Yes. His voice cracked. She made me her anchor one last time. She said, "Hold me steady while I go." And I did. Something inside me shattered quietly. That's not killing," I whispered. "No," he said softly. "But Ronan would never tell it that way. He wants to turn you against me. He wants you vulnerable, alone." I sank down onto a stone bench near the wall before my legs gave out. Aiden didn't approach, didn't push. He just stood there, still as a statue carved from guilt. I pressed a hand to my forehead. "So you helped her die peacefully because she was in pain?" "Yes." "And you had to live with that secret?" "Yes." "And now Ronan wants to use it against you?" "Yes." I stared at him through my fingers. "You idiot." He blinked. "What?" "You giant, self-sacrificing idiot! Why didn't you just say that? Why lead with 'I killed her'? Who opens with that?" He exhaled. "I didn't want to talk about it." "Oh my God," I groaned. "Your emotional repression is going to take years off my life." He stepped forward, hesitating like he expected me to recoil. "I didn't want you to see me as a monster." I looked up, meeting his eyes. "Aiden," I said, voice trembling but steady, "you literally anchor dying Omega women out of compassion. Ronan hunts them for sport. If you're a monster, you're the kind that saves people." He swallowed hard. "Lyra, don't get emotional," I muttered. "You're too tall for that. It's intimidating." A breathless laugh, small but real, escaped him. The tension in the room eased. Not gone, but breathable. I stretched my legs out, letting the stone cool the panic in my bones. "So," I said, "let me get this straight. My grandmother had a magical terminal illness. She put her affairs in order, protected me, and made you her death anchor?" Aiden nodded once. "And then she left behind a puzzle for me to solve. A contract binding us, hunters looking for blood, and an estate with opinions." He nodded again. "And yesterday I was working front desk at a dental office where my biggest enemy was the printer." "Yes." I sighed. "Love that for me." He sat down across from me, elbows resting on his knees. "There's more," he said quietly. I threw my head back. "Of course there is." He studied the floor as he spoke. "Ilara didn't just protect you from outside threats. She protected you from your mother's decision, too." I stiffened. "What decision?" "To block your awakening." My breath froze. "What?" I whispered. "Your mother severed your early Omega channels," he said. "It's why you never shifted, why your senses dulled, why your grandmother kept her distance. She couldn't risk forcing your mother to undo it." I stared at him, numb. "So, my mom didn't just choose normal," I said slowly. "She chose it for me." "Yes." "And she did it without telling me." "Yes." "And Grandma kept her distance, not because she didn't care, but because approaching me might have endangered me." "Yes." Something prickled behind my eyes, hot and sharp. Rage, sadness, loss, confusion. Aiden leaned forward. "Lyra, don't," I whispered. "Please. I just need a minute." He nodded, silent, respectful. I stared at the ceiling, letting my breathing slow. "So the real reason your oath mattered," I said after a long moment, "was because my grandmother knew I'd need someone who understood all this." "That," he said softly, "and because she trusted me more than anyone else." "Even her family," I whispered. "Especially her family." I winced. He continued gently. "Lyra, your grandmother loved you. Fiercely. Enough to hide you. Enough to leave you the estate. Enough to turn her biggest enemy, me, into your ally." "That is such a weird family dynamic," I muttered. His lips curved. The Maddox line never did normal. Before I could respond, the house trembled again. Once, sharply, like a warning heartbeat. Aiden's head snapped toward the hallway. "They're getting bolder," he said. "Hunters?" I squeaked. "No," he said grimly. "Ronan's pack. He's testing the boundaries. He wants to see how strong you are." "Well," I whispered, "joke's on him. I'm hanging on by a thread and some stew." Aiden stood, offering his hand. I hesitated, then took it. He pulled me up gently. "Lyra," he said, voice low, steady, terrifyingly earnest. "I will not let him have you." "You can't guard me forever," I murmured, echoing Ronan. Aiden stepped closer, gaze burning. "I don't need to guard you forever," he said. "I need to train you until you can tear him apart yourself." My pulse stuttered wildly. "Oh," I whispered. "That's mildly terrifying." "It should be." His thumb brushed the back of my hand, just once, before he let go. "Come," he said. "We fortify the estate tonight, and tomorrow, we continue training." "And after that?" I asked. His gaze darkened. "After that," he said softly, "we prepare for war." Moonridge at night feels different. During the day, it's eerie in a whimsical, my estate may be sentient kind of way. But at night, with threats lurking at the borders and rival alphas testing the wards, it felt alive in the way a sleeping beast is alive, coiled, listening, waiting. Aiden walked a step ahead of me through the moonlit corridor, shoulders tense, every muscle wired. His aura was a storm pressed barely beneath his skin. I followed with the dignified grace of someone who had no idea what she was doing, but was trying very hard to look brave. Spoiler: shameful bravery is still bravery. We reached the atrium where moonlight poured through a domed glass ceiling, illuminating intricate runes carved into the stone floor. Aiden stopped at the center. The moonlight flickered, acknowledging him. "The wards need reinforcement," he said, "from both of us." "From me?" I squeaked. "Are you sure you want the magical Roomba involved again? I might blast you into the stratosphere." Aiden gave me a look that was both fond and exasperated. "You're not a Roomba." "Tell that to the wall you dented." "That was your power," he corrected, "not mine." "Oh, cool, so my anxiety comes with demolition capabilities." He didn't smile, but his eyes softened. "Lyra," he said gently, "you're stronger than you realize." I looked away, because eye contact with Aiden Blackthorne, while my heart was already melting, was dangerous. Okay, I said, forcing courage. What do we do? He motioned for me to stand opposite him, on the other side of a glowing crescent rune. We form a circuit, he explained. Like electricity? Yes. Oh, good. I love electrocution. It won't electrocute you. Then what will it do? He paused. Amplify you. Ah, terrifying. Let's proceed. Aiden extended his hands across the rune. I stepped forward and took them. Instantly, the bond hummed warm and bright between our palms, like someone struck a tuning fork inside my ribcage. My breath caught. Aiden's did too. Focus, he said softly. I am focusing, I whispered. That's the problem. His grip tightened, steady, reassuring. Breathe with me. We inhaled together, exhaled together. The crescent rune between us flared to life, silver spreading like wildfire across the stone floor. The air crackled. The energy rising from the rune pulled at something inside me. My power. Do you feel that? Aiden murmured. I feel like I stuck a fork in a cosmic outlet. That's normal. No, it's not. The energy pooled under my skin, warm, electric, demanding. My chest tightened. Light sparked at my fingertips. Aiden, I gasped. It's too much. His voice dropped to a low command that hit the bond like gravity. Lyra, anchor to me. My eyes shot to his, and something inside me understood. I reached through the bond, not pulling from him, but connecting to him. His energy didn't overwhelm. It steadied, calmed, aligned. The power inside me threaded into his like two notes finding harmony. The runes blazed white gold. Moonridge trembled. The wards surrounding the entire estate pulsed outward in a massive shockwave that rippled through the forest, scattering shadows and clearing corruption. Aiden grit his teeth, holding steady as the surge rolled through us both. I gasped as the energy slowly ebbed, softer, gentler, returning to a quiet hum under my skin. The rune dimmed. Aiden released my hands last. For a long moment, we didn't move, just breathed the same air, tethered by something bigger than either of us. What was that? I whispered. Aiden's voice was low and rough. A successful reinforcement. The wards won't be breached again tonight. No, I mean, I touched my chest. The bond. Whatever just happened between us. It felt like... His eyes found mine. Silver. Soft. Dangerous. Alignment, he said. That sounds like mating energy. It's not. You said that too fast. Lyra. I huffed. Don't Lyra me. That's your intimidation voice. That's my don't panic voice. I am panicking. You're safe. My heart thudded. With you? His throat bobbed. He answered without hesitation. Yes. That was unfair, emotionally manipulative, and painfully effective. I swallowed. Aiden, earlier you said you made a promise to my grandmother, that you owed her, that you anchored her when she died. But Ronan made it sound like I belonged to her. Aiden finished quietly. Like she held authority over me. Did she? No. His voice tightened. She helped me when I had no one. I returned the favor. It was mutual respect, not ownership. And now, I whispered, you're bound to me. His eyes darkened. I'm bound to the legacy, he corrected. "But the bond between you and me, that is something else." My pulse jumped. Something else, how? His gaze dropped to my mouth. Oh no, no. This was the point in romance novels where questionable decisions happened. Before he could answer, the estate doors rattled violently upstairs. Something collided with the ward. Hard. I froze. "Is that—" "No," Aiden said, already moving. "It's not Ronan." "Then who—" He drew me behind him, his posture shifting into full alpha defense. A second, heavier impact shook the house. Aiden grimaced. "This pressure is familiar." "How familiar?" He exhaled sharply. "Family." I blinked. "Yours?" "No." "Oh God, mine?" A final thunderous hit cracked through the wards. Then a voice boomed through the estate. "Lyra Maddox, open this door right now." Aiden stiffened, then groaned into his palm. "Oh, wonderful," he muttered. "This is exactly what we needed." I squeaked. "Is that—" He nodded grimly. "Yes, your mother." There are many things I expected to face after awakening mysterious Omega powers and accidentally blasting an Alpha into a wall. My estranged mother, screaming at the door of a magical estate, was not on the list. I froze halfway up the stairs, gripping the railing like it owed me emotional support. Boom! Another impact shook the front doors. "Lyra Maddox, I know you're in there!" Aiden pinched the bridge of his nose. "She's going to wake the entire forest." "Great," I whispered. "Let's add community disturbance to my supernatural criminal record." He shot me a look. "Lyra, you don't have to open that door." I blinked. "I don't?" "No. This estate answers to you now. The wards respond to your will. If you don't want her inside, she stays out." My stomach twisted. I stared at the glowing hallway, the silver-lit stone, the portraits watching silently. And the weight of his words settled on my shoulders. You don't have to let anyone in, not even family. A concept so foreign it felt illegal. Another slam hit the door, hard. "Honey, I swear on every saint I don't believe in, if you don't open this door—" "Okay," I hissed. "She's escalating. That's the voice she used when I spilled juice on her tax documents." Aiden arched a brow. "And what happened then?" "She cried for 30 minutes. He blinked. "That feels disproportionate." "Yeah, welcome to my childhood." He stepped closer, voice gentler. "Lyra, you don't owe her anything. Not an explanation, not an invitation, not forgiveness. This is your boundary. Literally." My chest ached, because I wanted to agree. I wanted to feel powerful. I wanted to protect myself. But she was still her. "She's my mother," I whispered. "And she came here, to this place, knowing what it meant." Aiden didn't argue. He just cupped my shoulder and said quietly, "Then let me stand beside you." My heart did a full gymnastics routine. I nodded once. "Okay," I whispered. We opened the door. The moment I placed my hand on the handle, the wards flickered, hesitant, protective, before parting for me. The doors swung open. My mother stood on the steps, disheveled, furious, and brunette gray curls frizzing like she'd outrun a storm. "Lyra!" she shrieked, and then stopped dead. Her gaze swept over me, my aura still faintly glowing, hair tousled from training, ward light shimmering behind me. Then she saw Aiden behind my shoulder and went rigid. "Oh," she breathed. "Oh no. Lyra, what did you do?" I frowned. "Hi, Mom. Lovely to see you too." She pushed past me into the foyer. "Do you have any idea how dangerous, how reckless, how stupid?" "Wow," I muttered. "Starting strong. Love the maternal warmth." Aiden moved slightly behind me, but didn't interfere. My mother whirled on him. "You. I knew it. I told Alara to stay away from you, and now you've sunk your claws into my daughter." Aiden's eyes flickered silver, chill, controlled. "I haven't sunk anything into anyone." My brain hiccuped. "Okay, that phrasing was something." Mom pointed a shaking finger at him. "You're just like your father, playing protector while hiding your real motives. Stop!" I snapped without thinking. Mom froze. Aiden looked at me, immediately, instinctively. The power in my chest fluttered, soft but firm. "Mom," I said carefully, "you can yell at me later, but don't yell at him." Her jaw dropped. "You're protecting him? Lyra Maddox, have you lost your mind?" "Yes," I shouted. "Probably, but not because of Aiden." She sputtered. "He's a Blackthorne." And then, suddenly, pieces clicked. My grandmother's hatred, the oath, the secrets, my mother's avoidance. "Mom," I breathed. "What did Aiden's family do?" She shut down instantly. "That's none of your concern." "It literally is." "No, it isn't." "Yes, it is." "Lyra, Mom!" She glared. I glared back. Aiden watched us like someone observing two emotional firecrackers and calculating detonation radius. I crossed my arms. "Why didn't you tell me our bloodline was supernatural?" "Because I wanted a normal life for you." "Normal," I said, voice rising. "Normal is honesty. Normal is safety. Normal is not growing up thinking I was defective because I couldn't run as fast or hear as sharply or heal like everyone else." Her face broke. The tears came fast. "I was trying to protect you," she whispered. "From what I lost. From what your grandmother cost me. From what that world takes." I softened. Just an inch. "Then why block me?" I asked quietly. "Why shut down my awakening?" "Because it killed your aunt," she said. I blinked. "Aunt? I don't... What aunt?" Mom covered her mouth, too late to take it back. Aiden inhaled sharply behind me. "Ilara had another daughter?" Mom's jaw trembled. "I wasn't supposed to tell." "Tell me now," I said. "Mom, please." She looked between us, between her daughter with glowing eyes and the alpha who shouldn't be trusted, but was anyway. Then she whispered, "You had an aunt named Celine, your grandmother's first Omega heir. She awakened early, too early. The power broke her. She lost control at the full moon." My heart dropped. "What happened to her?" Mom squeezed her eyes shut. "She burned." I stumbled backward, Aiden catching my elbow before I fell. "She didn't survive the awakening," my mom whispered. Your grandmother was never the same. And I saw what it did to her. I saw what being Omega-born could cost. I swore I'd never let that happen to you. My chest ached. My throat burned. My power pulsed with grief. Aiden whispered beside me. Lyra, I didn't know. None of us knew. Mom shook her head. And now you're on the same path. Opening the estate, bonding with an alpha, awakening your core. Don't you see? You're repeating the cycle. I'm not her, I said softly. No, Mom whispered. You're more powerful. That did not help. But then her voice broke again, and what came out wasn't anger or fear, but something small and terrified. I just want you safe, Lyra. I don't want to bury you too. That hit me harder than anything else. I stepped toward her, tears burning. I know, I said quietly. But pretending I'm not who I am won't protect me anymore. It'll just leave me unprepared. She swallowed hard. Then let me help you. Aiden stiffened. The estate lights flickered. The portraits rustled like they had gossip. I blinked. You want to help? She nodded shakily. I know the signs of losing control. I know what early warning looks like. I know how to support an awakening. Ilara taught me enough to recognize the danger. Aiden studied her, shocked and suspicious, and impressed all at once. You know more than I do, he admitted quietly. Mom blinked. Well, that's a first. I rubbed my temples. Okay, fine. We're all traumatized. We need a plan. Aiden nodded. Agreed. My mother looked at him sharply. But first, we need one thing clear. Aiden lifted a brow. Which is? She stepped between us, eyes burning. You hurt her, she said quietly, and I'll end you myself. Aiden didn't flinch. He didn't snarl. He simply said, I won't. And somehow, I believed him more than I believed my own heartbeat. There's a very specific kind of emotional exhaustion that only comes from 1, confronting intergenerational trauma, 2, discovering a dead aunt you never knew existed, and 3, managing 2 alphas glaring at each other over the dinner table like they're mentally arm wrestling. Moonridge hummed around us, alive and listening as always. The 3 of us, me, my mother, and Aiden, sat in the grand dining room, surrounded by candlelight and magically shifting shadows. Aiden looked like a thunderstorm. My mother looked like a stressed suburban mom seeing ghosts for the first time. And I looked like a human migraine wrapped in a blanket. Perfect evening. My mom cleared her throat. We need a strategy. For hunters? I asked. For everything, she said. Your awakening, the rival alpha, the estate responding to you, the bond. Aiden's jaw clenched. The bond is stable. Mom shot him a look. Stable bonds don't make the walls glow and the air nearly combust. I raised a hand. In my defense, I only combusted a little. Aiden murmured, it was not a little. Whose side are you on? Yours, which is why I'm telling the truth. I turned to my mom. See what I deal with? She pinched the bridge of her nose. Lord help me. She set her teacup down, hands trembling. There's something else, she said. Something I never told you. Something your grandmother didn't put in the letter. Aiden straightened. Even the floorboards went still. Mom looked at me like she was bracing for impact. "Your Aunt Celine didn't just lose control," she whispered. "She didn't just burn." My stomach nodded. "Mom, what happened?" "Her awakening wasn't random," she said softly. "It was provoked." "By who?" Aiden asked sharply. Mom swallowed. "By another alpha." A cold ripple shot through me. "He triggered it," she whispered. "On purpose. Before she was ready. Before she had control. She flared. She panicked. Aiden finished for her. Tore herself apart." My mom nodded miserably. "And Lyra killed that alpha in retaliation." A thick, heavy silence pressed into the room. "That's why she hid you, Lyra," Mom said. "She wasn't afraid of your power. She was afraid of someone using you the same way." My heart stuttered. "So you blocked me," I whispered. "To stop anyone from triggering me early." "Yes." Her eyes shone. "I know it cost you things you never knew you should have had. But I couldn't lose another daughter of my family." Aiden looked at her, unexpected sympathy flickering in his eyes. "That's why Lyra asked me," he murmured. "She knew you would never let Lyra awaken naturally. And she knew she wouldn't live long enough to guide her." Mom nodded. "Yes, Lyra trusted you." I blinked. "Wait, you trusted Aiden, too?" She froze. A beat. "Too." "That was before," she said tightly. "Before everything went wrong." Aiden's jaw went rigid. "Mom," I said gently, "what went wrong?" She hesitated, then whispered, "Your grandmother didn't die from the illness alone. Someone hastened it." Aiden flinched, just barely. "Someone interfered with her last awakening cycle," Mom murmured. "Someone who wanted her gone. Someone who wanted her heir vulnerable." My voice trembled. "Mom? Who?" She locked eyes with Aiden. "A rival alpha." Everything went still. Aiden's aura sharpened. "Ronan?" Mom nodded once. And then Aiden stood so fast, his chair scraped loudly against the floor. "He's trying to finish what he started," Aiden said, voice lethal. "He wanted your grandmother gone. Now he wants you." "So he can trigger me early," I whispered. "Just like my aunt." "Yes. And if I flare uncontrolled, it will kill you," Mom said softly. Aiden's breathing deepened, controlled, but close to losing control. "He's not going to touch her," Aiden said. "Not a promise, not a hope. A vow." I stared at my hands, at the faint white gold shimmer under my skin. An Omega heir. A legacy wanted by enemies. A rival alpha hunting me. A mother broken by a past I never knew. A protector bound by guilt and oath and maybe something else. I exhaled shakily. I just wanted a normal life. Aiden crouched beside me. "Lyra," he said softly. "Look at me." I shook my head. "I can't. If I look at you right now, I'm going to feel something big and stupid." His voice gentled. "That's all right." "No, it's not," I whispered fiercely. "Feelings are a liability in supernatural politics. You said so." He paused, then murmured, "Not when they make you stronger." I looked up, and instantly regretted it. His silver eyes were warm in a way they never were with anyone else. My power pulsed at the same moment his did, our energies brushing, testing, seeking. Mom cleared her throat loudly. Okay, let's not oh Lord, I can't say the word. Let's not bond flirt while there's a murderous alpha outside. I shot up from the chair. Yes, right. War, focus, no flirting. Aiden stood too, expression maddeningly calm. We need a plan. Mom held up fingers. Step 1. Stabilize Lyra's awakening. Her power is raw, volatile. Aiden nodded. Agreed. Step 2. Reinforce the estate so only those acknowledged by Lyra can enter. Done, Aiden said. We started that tonight. Step 3. Prevent Ronan from triggering her. Aiden turned to me. Which means you don't leave Moonridge without me. Okay, I said. That feels a little possessive. It is, he deadpanned. Deal with it. Mom huffed. And step 4. Prepare Lyra for confrontation. Confrontation? I squeaked. Like, fight? Like, combat? You're a Maddox Omega, Mom said firmly. Your power isn't meant to hide. It's meant to end things. Aiden met my gaze. You won't run from Ronan. My palms dampened. But I'm not ready. You will be, he said. Mom nodded. You have 2 mentors now, a Maddox and a Blackthorne. If we can't prepare you, no one can. Aiden added, and when Ronan returns, he won't find prey. He stepped closer, close enough our bond hummed. He'll find the heir of a Lyra Maddox. And she, he finished softly, will burn him. I swallowed. For the first time, I believed him. Suddenly the candles flickered. The walls glowed silver. The portraits trembled. What's happening? I whispered. Aiden's voice dropped. Moonridge is acknowledging your resolve. A pulse traveled through the house. Warm, protective, alive. My mother gasped softly. Lyra, you just became its mistress. I blinked. I'm sorry, what? Aiden smiled, slow, proud, unbearably dangerous. You're finally accepting your legacy, he said, and the estate recognizes you. I didn't know whether to celebrate, faint, or hide. Probably all 3. There's a particular kind of silence that happens before everything changes. Not peaceful, not empty. It's the silence where the house, the forest, and your own heartbeat are all holding their breath at the same time. That's what Moonridge felt like the next night. My mother stood at one end of the atrium, arms crossed, eyes sharp and worried. Aiden stood at the other end, arms folded too, jaw set, looking like a war in a suit. I stood in the middle, glowing faintly like an anxious lantern. Again, Mom said. I'm tired, I groaned. That's when control matters most, she replied. You don't need power when you're calm. You need it when you're exhausted, scared, and annoyed. Well, I'm all 3, I muttered. So, yay? Good, she said. She lifted a hand and flicked her fingers. A tiny ball of shadow coalesced in the air in front of me. It wasn't real danger, just a projection drawn from the wards. A stress test. Breathe, Mom said. Feel the fear. Don't run from it. Don't fight it. Acknowledge it. Then choose what to do with it. I eyed the shadow ball. What if what I want to do with it is cry? Then you cry later. Her voice softened. Right now, you regulate. I inhaled deeply, reaching for the bond. Aiden stepped closer, voice low. Take from me if you need, or push into me if it's too much. That's what anchors are for. Emotionally codependent magical relationship, I muttered. Got it. But I did as they said. I let the fear rise, let it whisper stories about dying like my Aunt Celine, about burning everything, about losing control. My chest tightened, my hands shook. The shadow ball pulsed larger. Lyra, Mom said quietly. Who are you? Panicking? I squeaked. Who else? Her eyes shone. You're Ilara's granddaughter, she whispered. My daughter. The last Maddox Omega. You're not just fear. Your legacy. Something inside me steadied. I exhaled. Right, I murmured. I'm legacy. I reached for the humming in my chest, the white gold current that always flickered just under my skin. Instead of shoving it outward like a blast, I wrapped it around the fear. Not to destroy it, to shrink it. The shadow ball withered, dimmed, collapsed in on itself, and disappeared. The magic around us went still. I did it, I breathed. I didn't nuke anything. Mom exhaled shakily. Again. I laughed weakly. You're a relentless coach. You know that? That's how I get results. For the next hour, we cycled through exercises. Wards generating harmless projections, Mom provoking emotions I hated, frustration, memories of being small, ignored, powerless. Aiden deliberately spiking his alpha aura and forcing me to nullify it in increments rather than in one dramatic blast. Dial it down, he coached. Not off, just lower. Like a dimmer switch, I grunted. Congratulations, I'm a mood lamp. You're a regulator, he corrected. Own it. The more we practiced, the more I felt it. My power wasn't just chaos. It wasn't just explosion. It was a scale. I could raise, lower, level, amplify, strip, especially when it came to alphas. Again, Aiden said, stepping closer. He released a surge of aura, thick and heavy, pressing at the edges of my mind. I pushed back, not with panic, but with precision. His power settled, still strong, but no longer crushing. He blinked. Good. Mom nodded approvingly. She's stabilizing. That's a mid-level flex. I lifted my chin. So if Ronan tries to crush me with alpha theatrics, you'll see through it, Mom said, and push back without burning yourself out. Perfect, I said. Because if I die because some dramatic man with daddy issues glared too hard, I'll be embarrassed in the afterlife. Aiden's lips twitched. You won't die. You keep saying that, I said quietly. But you can't promise. He stepped even closer, close enough that the bond thrummed like it had been waiting for its cue. I don't make promises I can't keep, he said. Bold of you, I whispered, considering the psychotic alpha outside and the hunters and my tragic family line. Bold, he agreed. And true. Later, after training, we found ourselves in the library again. I sat on the edge of a table, legs swinging. Aiden leaned against a bookcase nearby, arms crossed, watching me like I was a problem he'd gladly dedicate his life to solving. The contract said 1 lunar cycle, I said, staring at the embossed lettering of some ancient treaty. 30 days. Yes. How many days has it been? 13, he said. So we have... I did the math in my head and winced. 17 days left before the Omega's clause ends. Yes. And then what? I asked. I get the estate and you... What? Leave? His expression flickered. That was the arrangement, he said slowly. That's not an answer, I shot back. His eyes held mine. I don't plan on leaving, he said. Not unless you ask me to. My stomach dropped. And if I don't? I whispered. His aura softened. Then I stay. That's not in the clause, I said quietly. No, he murmured. That part is free will. The bond hummed like it approved. I swallowed hard. This is dangerous. He tilted his head. The bond? My feelings, I said. He stilled. A long, heavy beat stretched between us. Lyra, he said softly. You're not alone in that. My heart skipped. I locked my gaze on his. Say it. Say what? He asked, voice low, knowing. Say you feel it too. His jaw clenched. His hands flexed at his sides. Then he pushed off the shelf and crossed the space between us in 3 long strides. His hand came up, hovering near my cheek, not touching, like he was holding back for both our sakes. I feel it, he said. Every time you walk into a room, the bond reacts. Every time you use your power, something in me answers. Every time you stand your ground, He exhaled harshly. I fall a little more. My chest burned. That sounds like... Yes, he said. It is. But this started as an obligation, I whispered. An oath. A contract. Yes. I don't want to be a duty you've dressed up as desire. Pain flashed across his features. You're not, he said hoarsely. My oath is the reason I never walked away. But you, this, what I feel now, has nothing to do with Alara, or duty, or promises. His hand finally brushed my cheek. Lyra, he whispered. I chose this. I swallowed hard. I don't know if I can, if we can, do this and still fight a war. We don't have to decide everything tonight, he said. Right now, we survive Ronin. We survive the Bloodseekers. We lock in your legacy. And after that, if you want me here, I stay. As your anchor, as your alpha, as whatever you need. Tears pricked my eyes. Stupid, stubborn tears. You're infuriating, I muttered. So you've said. This is still wildly impractical. Almost everything worth doing is. I huffed out a shaky laugh. If we die, I'm haunting you. Good, he murmured. I'd hate to be alone. The air between us crackled. Warm, electric, loaded. His thumb brushed my lower lip by accident. I gasped. The bond surged, hungry, bright, wanting. And then, Moonridge shook. Not a little tremor, a full-body shudder that rattled shelves and sent dust drifting from the rafters. Aiden jerked back, eyes blazing silver. They're here, he said. My blood ran cold. Ronan? Yes. His aura rose like a storm unfurling. And he brought friends. We raced to the entrance hall. My mother stood near the doors already, face pale but determined. "The wards are holding," she said. "For now." "Define 'for now,'" I said. "Until they push harder." The air outside shimmered with dark figures, bloodseekers sliding like shadows against the ward, and at the center of it all, Ronan. He smiled through the barrier like this was a social call. "Lyra Maddox," he called, voice echoing through the estate. "Moonridge looks good on you." I stepped forward, pulse thundering, but power steady. "Go away," I shouted back. He laughed. "You sound just like your grandmother. She told me that once too, right before she tried to tear my heart out." "Remind me to like her posthumously," I muttered. Ronan spread his hands. "Let me in. We can negotiate." Aiden's growl reverberated beside me. "You're not crossing the threshold." "Please," Ronan scoffed. "You think these wards can stop me forever? You've reinforced them, yes. Nicely done." His eyes gleamed. "But you forget, I still have Maddox access. Old blood, old deals. All I need is her permission." His gaze locked on mine. "Invite me in, little Omega," he purred. "Let's talk about a future where you don't die." My mother stiffened. "Don't listen to him." "I won't," I said. But my power pulsed, agitated, restless, aware. Aiden's hand brushed mine. "We don't open the door," he said quietly. "Not to him. We lure him in on our terms, through our path, when we're ready." "Ready how?" I whispered. His eyes burned. "Tonight," he said. "It ends. No more running, no more threats. We bring him into Moonridge's heart and close the door." "That sounds like a trap," I said. "It is," he replied. "For him." Mom nodded slowly. "We can shape the wards, open a specific passage, one only Lyra can control." "And in there," Aiden finished, "you confront him." My stomach flipped. "Alone?" "Not alone," he said. "But you lead. You regulate. You choose." Ronan watched us, smirking like he had already won. "Tick-tock, Air," he called. "How long before your lovely estate cracks?" My fear rose, but underneath it, a hot, fierce anger I recognized as the Maddox line itself. I lifted my chin. "Then let's invite him," I said quietly. Aiden's eyes widened, proud, worried, impressed. "Lyra." "No more hiding," I said. "No more letting him circle. He wanted the Maddox heir. He wanted my power. He wanted my grandmother's legacy." White gold light flickered under my skin. "He can face it." Moonridge went quiet. Not peaceful, not calm. Just waiting. Waiting for me. Waiting for what I'd do next. Aiden stood on my right, shoulders broad, aura humming like a storm ready to break. My mother stood on my left, nervous, pale, but steady in a way only someone who'd already lost too much could be. And outside the ward, Ronan watched me with a predator's patience. This was it. The moment the entire story had been crawling toward. "Lyra," Aiden murmured softly. "You don't have to do this tonight." Yes, I said. I do. Ronan smirked. What a good little heir. Come greet me properly. I ignored him. Instead, I pressed my palm to the glowing crescent carved into the double doors. The ward pulsed, Moonridge stirred, and a single archway shimmered into existence to the right, a thin, narrow corridor glowing bright white gold. My corridor. My threshold. This is the passage only you can open, Mom said. He can enter, but only if he steps exactly where you lead. And once he does, Aiden added, the house will seal behind him. No escape, no reinforcements, just you, him, and your power. I swallowed hard. My pulse thundered. So I gestured vaguely. Invite the sociopathic murder alpha into my magical panic hallway? Mom nodded grimly. Pretty much. Fantastic, I muttered. Love being heir. Aiden's hand brushed mine, barely, but the touch grounded me instantly. Lyra, he said softly. Remember, you don't fight him head on. You regulate him. You strip him. You break him down one breath at a time. I nodded, then looked up at him. And you'll be right behind me. Always, he said, without hesitation. I didn't know what to do with how that made me feel. So I turned toward the glowing passage and told the world's smuggest alpha. Ronan, you want inside? Step through my door. The ward in front of Ronan parted like a curtain being sliced open. He stepped inside Moonridge's foyer with disgusting confidence. Ah, he said, licking his teeth. Feels like home already. Aiden growled. Mom hissed under her breath. I stepped forward before either of them could attack. This way, I said sharply. Ronan's gaze snapped to the glowing corridor. He smirked. Oh, a Maddox challenge. How quaint. I didn't respond. I just turned and walked into the shimmering passageway. The glow behind me flared. Ronan followed. And as soon as his boots crossed the threshold, boom! The arch sealed behind him. Aiden and my mother disappeared from view. It was just me and Ronan. Ingenious, he purred, studying the space. You've walked me right where I wanted you. No, I said, heart pounding. I walked you where I needed you. The corridor opened into a circular chamber, walls etched with shifting runes, the air thick with ancient Maddox magic. The moonlight pooled like silver mercury on the stone floor. Ronan inhaled deeply. Delicious. Your grandmother always did like theatrics. She also liked killing alphas who thought they could control her. I snapped. He tisked. Such a sharp tongue. You'll make a fine Omega when I finish that sentence and I'll regulate your jaw off, I said. His eyes lit with dangerous amusement. Oh, so the little heir thinks she can regulate me? I don't think, I said softly. White gold sparks flickered at my fingertips. I know. Ronan's aura surged, hard, aggressive, alpha in full dominance mode. The pressure slammed into me, but instead of crushing me, it met a wall. My wall. My power rose instinctively, not explosively, but with the steady, controlled weight of a tide. Ronan blinked. Impossible. I smiled, slow and sharp. My grandmother protected me. My mother bound me. And Aiden trained me. I took a step forward. So go ahead. Try again. Ronan snarled and unleashed another wave of alpha force. A tsunami of pressure. Enough to crush most wolves, but I wasn't most wolves. I lifted a hand and pulled. The pressure collapsed inward, sucking right out of the air and into my palm like siphoned smoke. Ronan gasped. You? Oh, you didn't know? I tilted my head. Maddox Omegas feed on alpha energy. You basically just handed me a snack. He lunged. I stepped aside, barely. He stumbled, frustrated. Stop moving, he roared. No, I said. You stop moving. And I pushed. A gentle pulse, a small push, not an explosion, a regulation. Ronan froze mid-step, like his muscles forgot whose orders they followed. He stiffened. What did you do? Regulated you, I said. Congratulations. You're at toddler-level aggression now. His aura sputtered out again, and again I stripped it, absorbing it safely. He staggered back. This isn't possible. Omegas don't have this kind of power. Not all Omegas, I said, but Maddox ones do. His fear, actual fear, sparked in his eyes. He bared his teeth. I'll kill you before I let you grow into her power. He reached for something at his belt, a carved spike glowing with red sigils. My blood froze. I recognized it from the library texts. Moonburn spike, I whispered. Used on my aunt. He grinned. Exactly. He lunged. Fast. Desperate. I reacted without thinking, power surging instinctively, all the training snapping into place. I pulled his aura. I nullified his dominance. I amplified my own essence. And then I pushed. A shockwave of white gold light exploded from my chest, not chaotic, not uncontrolled, but focused, controlled. Ronan flew backward, slamming into the runic wall hard enough to crack stone. The spike skidded across the floor. I stepped toward him, no fear left in my bloodstream, only fury. You wanted a Maddox heir, I said. Here she is. Ronan groaned, pushing up on trembling hands. You think this ends with me? He spat. Yes, I said. I do. I lifted my hand, and Moonridge reacted before I even commanded it. The runes lit up. Chains of pure moonlight burst from the walls, snaking around Ronan's wrists, ankles, throat, pinning him to the floor. He thrashed, roared, fought, but Maddox's power didn't bend. You killed my grandmother, I said quietly. His eyes widened. You murdered her because you wanted her heir unprotected. That was strategy, he choked. And now, I whispered, your strategy ends. I placed my palm on the floor. The runes surged. Moonridge responded. White gold light poured around Ronan, not killing him, but binding him, sealing him, stripping every ounce of alpha dominance from his core and locking it in the estate's wards permanently. When the glow faded, Ronan collapsed, empty, powerless, defeated. I stood over him, trembling, but not from fear, from victory. The archway behind me snapped open. Aiden surged through immediately, eyes wild, Mom at his heels. He grabbed me before I could say anything, hands cupping my face, scanning for wounds, breathing hard. Lyra, are you hurt? His voice trembled. His hands did too. I shook my head. I'm okay, I whispered. His forehead dropped to mine. He exhaled, shaky, relief-soaked, raw. Don't ever do that alone again, he murmured. Mom ran up behind him. "Oh, thank God, you're alive! Did you kill him?" "No," I said. We looked at Ronan. Alive, but stripped of his alpha power forever. Mom gasped. You regulated an alpha to 0. Aiden pulled back just enough to look at me, eyes blazing with awe. "You ended him," he whispered, without spilling a drop of blood. I shrugged weakly. Turns out I'm pretty good at regulating toxic men. He laughed, actually laughed, before pulling me into a fierce, warm embrace that lit up the bond like wildfire. "You did it," he murmured against my hair. "You protected your legacy. You protected yourself. You ended the cycle." I let myself melt into him, just for a moment, then whispered, "So, does this mean I get the estate?" Aiden choked on a laugh. "Yes, Lyra, you get the estate." Mom wiped her eyes. "And you get a future your grandmother fought to give you." I exhaled, slow, shaky, disbelieving. It was done. I chose my legacy. I defeated my family's enemy. I survived my awakening. And the Omega's clause no longer felt like a trap. It felt like destiny. 30 days later. Moonridge doesn't hum the way it used to. It purrs now. Content. Claimed. Home. The wards glow a warm gold instead of frantic white. The floors no longer tremble from fear, only from the occasional magical mood swing that I now understand the same way you understand a pet, with patience and snacks. The forest outside bows when I walk it. The moon rises earlier for me, or maybe I just feel it sooner. Whatever the truth is, I am no longer the girl who walked in here clutching a tote bag and a string of bad life choices. I am Lyra Maddox, Omega-born, heir of Moonridge. The girl who regulated an alpha to 0 and lived to tell the tale. And today, the 30-day lunar cycle ends, which means, technically, Aiden's obligation ends too. The clause dissolves at moonrise. He'll be free from the contract, free from his oath, free to walk away from the Maddox legacy forever. The thought hits me with a strange ache. Not sharp, not desperate, just honest. I stand on the balcony overlooking the glowing forest, breathing in cold air. The moon edges its way above the treetops, silver spilling across my skin, lighting every piece of the woman I've become. Behind me, soft footsteps. Aiden's. I know the rhythm of his walk as well as I know my heartbeat. "You're up early," he murmurs. "I wanted to see the moon come up," I say. He steps beside me, leaning on the railing. "It feels different tonight." "Because the clause ends," I say softly. He nods once. Silence blankets us for a moment. Not awkward, not heavy, just full. "Aiden," I say quietly, "you're free after this." His breath catches. "You don't owe me anything," I whisper. "Not legacy, not protection, not an oath, not even your presence. If you want to walk away after tonight, I won't stop you." It costs me something to say it. He turns fully, eyes catching the moonlight, silver and warm and unbearably real. "Lyra," he says, "you think I stayed for a contract?" "No," I admit. "I'm afraid you stayed out of guilt." His jaw tightens. "I stayed because I chose to. And I choose to stay now. Not because of the oath, not because of your grandmother, not because of duty." He steps closer. I stay, he says, voice deep and steady. Because I want to be where you are. My breath stutters. And if I told you, I whisper, that legacy is heavy? That family trauma sucks? That I'm still learning not to explode emotionally and magically every Tuesday? His lips curve. Then I would say, that's exactly why I'm not going anywhere. Even after the clause ends? I ask. His hand brushes my cheek, gentle and warm. Especially after the clause ends. The bond hums between us, steady and soft, and nothing like the chaotic shock it once was. It feels like choice now, not fate, not pressure, not duty. Just us. A rustle of leaves below pulls my attention. My mother steps into the courtyard, waving up at us. She's been rebuilding her relationship with this world, slowly, carefully. Healing isn't linear, but she keeps showing up. And so do I. And so does Aiden. Moonridge is different with the three of us here. Alive and layered, haunted and hopeful. A perfect reflection of us. Aiden steps behind me, hands on either side of mine on the railing. What now? I ask softly. Now, he says, we build something new. And if the world comes after us? His voice drops into that low, warm alpha tone that always makes something inside me settle. Then let them come. I turn, leaning back against the railing. He cages me in with his arms, gentle but sure. You're not alone, he says. Not anymore. For the first time in my life, I believe it. Aiden? I whisper. Yes? I smile, small, real. Stay. His answering smile is slow, breathtaking, certain. As long as you want me. The moon hangs full above us, painting the balcony in silver and promise. The Omega's clause dissolves with the dawn. But the bond? That stays. Chosen. Trusted. Ours. And this time, the legacy is mine to write. If you believe legacy isn't about blood, it's about who stands beside you when the moonlight hits, hit subscribe, share this episode with your pack, and let your heart choose its own alpha. Thank you for listening to the Omega's Clause. Your journey under the moon doesn't end here. There's always another destiny waiting at the next chapter.